welcome back to Modwain's channel. It's under new management now because the lazy bastard hadn't been busy for a while, so I thought I'd pick up the slack. Let me know what you think. I even changed the intro, so kudos for those of you who recognise it, and if you don't, feel free to ask. Yeah, I know I didn't really ask permission to use it, but then again, it's only a few seconds of music, and in all fairness, I'm not monetized, so if they don't decide to monetize it and then ask for the money, all for them, I don't mind. Anyway, so this is going to be me, no Modwain today. Let me know what you think. We've got something special going on because we've got what's her face, Smurthwaite, and yeah, we all know she ain't funny, but let's have a laugh anyway.
So this week I was asked to take part in a debate about whether or not the Me Too movement has gone too far.
Well, first off, who asked you? That's an important question to know. And I guess, why did they ask you? Because who the hell are you? Then again, you've got a bigger following than I am, and you make your money appearing on television, so that's weird. But in all fairness, it's a fair question. Has Me Too gone too far? It's a fair question. Why? Because now people are being accused, and because they are being accused, they are losing their jobs and their income, even though their accusations are not proven. They're just asserted. I mean, the hashtag Me Too movement, with, in all fairness, started with some Hollywood tramps figuring out that it was a bad thing that they were whores, so now they blame their pimps. They were the ones that whored themselves out. Anyway, this is beside the point. Real victims are real. Bullshit victims are a reason why real victims don't come out. We need to recognise this. But who am I talking to? I mean, this is Kate Smurthwaite after all. Reality has nothing to do with the narrative. And the narrative is, women have it bad. Though there are real women victims, but who cares about those? I mean, they're not feminists. I mean, yeah, their fault. What am I talking about? Well, there's this hashtag 120 decibel movement. And then there's, of course, the movement of women who are quite adamant, as in how they are not victim. You know, hashtag not me. But those two things, they have nothing to do with the hashtag Me Too movement. Therefore, ignore them.
I won't say what organisation was arranging this because it's a subject that seems to keep coming up. There's been articles on this subject in several of the newspapers. You might have seen Sophie Walker from the Women's Equality Party make rather short work of Germaine Greer in just such a debate a few days ago. And my first reaction was this: I don't even understand the question, right? The Me Too movement is about women speaking out about their own true experiences of sexual violence and sexual harassment. Okay, women, some of you have described your experiences. Could the rest of you stop now? Like, how is that? Are we telling women they shouldn't describe their own experiences? That seems weird and wrong. Oh, social media now contains too much truth. Ladies, rein it in.
I remember that we used to make a video some time ago on how we talked about Kate Smurthwaite's double standard. But it applies here too. It really does. She doesn't realise it though. That's the worst part of it. Thing is, my dear, there are real victims out there, but feminists don't want to hear that because they're real victims of people that feminists like to support. Now, that's not the worst of it. No. If a woman claims how she's not a victim, then that's a problem because she's not taking their sisters serious. If a woman tells you that she's the victim of, well, the wrong group, basically, not white men raped them, but someone else did, then, that's still white privilege, so you should shut up as well. Only white women that get raped by white men, women of colour that get raped by white men are fair to talk out too. But the worst part of it is that the Me Too movement stopped being about rape as soon as Hollywood started talking about casting couch experiences of their actors. I'm sorry, but coercion might not be nice, but it's not rape. How dare you compare yourself to someone who died in a rape?
But the Farc social media, I mean, there are people on social media who were born in the 90s who are still banging on about a football tournament that took place in 1966. I think the very least we can say is if women want to talk about their own experiences, they bloody well should do, right?
Oh, you daft cow. No one is saying they shouldn't. What we are saying is they shouldn't make shit up because there are real victims that really need our help. But somehow, feminists don't want the real victims to get help. They want the hashtag #MeToo victims that had consensual sex but then didn't like the fact that they had consensual sex. Therefore, they're now a victim. Can you see how these two are not the same? No one is saying you to be quiet. They're telling you to be honest. But I understand why this is a problem for feminists. Honesty and narrative building don't really go hand in hand now, do they? Oh.
And the whole point of the Me Too movement was to show the extent of the problem. That's why we put hashtag Me Too, to show that it was a hugely, hugely widespread problem. So you can't then go, oh, we wanted to see the extent of the problem. Oh, not that much. We weren't ready for that much. If the extent of the problem is bigger than you thought it was going to be, then that doesn't mean we should stop discussing it. That means the extent of the solution needs to be bigger than you thought it was going to be, and more urgent and more enthusiastic and more comprehensive, and let us get the fuck on with it, right?
There isn't a man out there, well, on average, that doesn't agree with you that rape is a bad thing. But that's not what the Me Too movement is about. The Me Too movement is about celebrating victimhood. You don't care about reality. Women actually speaking out on how they were raped, for example, the 120 decibel movement, they are being silenced by feminists. You don't care about women taking control of their own life. They have to do it as feminists want them to do it. Because if they don't, well, then they have internalized misogyny. Well, one of the two, who cares? The thing is, why can't we be honest? Victims are victims and need to be helped. If you're not a victim, ta-da! Oh, it's so annoying though, because somehow you're only a victim if it fits the narrative. If it doesn't fit the narrative, you should stop whining. And that's not men saying this is women saying it. Why are you lying like this, Kate? Because you are.
But let's have a look at the 4 arguments that seem to keep coming up against the Me Too movement, or against the continuation of the Me Too movement. Firstly, well, what person X did wasn't technically illegal. Right, yeah, but you're allowed to moan about stuff on social media that isn't technically illegal, right? Like, oh, that was never a penalty. Well, no, it wasn't, but it was technically legal, wasn't it? So what, guys? Yeah, exactly. If someone farts next to you on the bus, it's not technically illegal, but you can moan about it. Someone makes you a sandwich that isn't what you wanted, not technically illegal. You can still moan about it. And men, when it comes to dating, or even spending time with women, could we please aim for a better standard than technically legal?
I can't even believe she said this. I really am surprised that you went there, Kate. Are you really that daft? So, basically, what you're just saying is the whole Me Too movement, well, you shouldn't take it too serious. It's just women moaning. It's not really something going on. It's just women moaning. Listen, if you're allowed to moan about that penalty, why aren't women allowed to moan on something that, well, it wasn't technically illegal, so no one did anything wrong, but women should be allowed to moan about it? For fuck's sake, you are discrediting the whole movement with this one argument. And you don't even realise it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, heart attack style laughing here. I can't handle this. You really are a cow, aren't you?
Yeah. How was your date last night? Well, he made me feel uncomfortable. He was creepy. He was weird. He kept staring at me. I felt nauseated. He kept talking about things that he could see I didn't want to talk about. I left early. I got a taxi home because I was uncomfortable and frightened, and I immediately went and told my friends how awful it was, and I felt really weird for the whole of the rest of the day. But hey, it was technically legal.
Oh my God, you just keep digging that hole, don't you? Oh, you seriously don't get it? How is that an equivalent of rape? How is that an equivalent of sexual violence? Oh, well, yeah, my date was terrible. Why? We kept talking about football. I don't care about football. Well, he raped you then. Okay. Oh, you can't be serious, but you are serious. That's the worst part. Don't you understand why people think you're a joke? And they're not laughing because you're funny. They're laughing because you're dense.
It's not what we're really aiming for, is it? Secondly, well, some innocent guy is bound to end up getting accused. That's true of everything all the time. Like, people say stuff, and sometimes people say stuff that isn't true. I've been lied about in the national press. I have. So you know, and the truth is that on balance, there are millions and millions of women out there who don't feel able to speak about what has happened to them. There are incidents that I've experienced that I don't feel ready to speak about because I know I won't be believed. I know I'll just lose work if I criticise people in positions of power, and I don't feel like anybody is going to listen to me or make any difference, and I just don't do it, right? So there are millions of women who are not speaking out about their experience. Then on the other hand, there's a handful of guys who got accused of something that they didn't actually do. And if you think that being falsely accused of something is worse than experiencing sexual violence, you've never experienced sexual violence, frankly. I mean, somebody didn't want to work with me because they'd heard a rumour about me and I had to defend myself. Really? How does that compare to being pinned against a wall and having someone force their fingers or their dick into you? It doesn't, does it? It's not on the same scale. It's got nothing in common, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. We're back to being serious now. Okay. Here's the problem. There are lots of victims out there, female and male victims, that are not coming out because they are afraid they will not be believed. And they are afraid they will not be believed because there's so much lying going on, especially in the #MeToo movement. So the problem with real combating rape is that every time when someone creates a false story, a provable false story, it creates a situation that other rape victims see and are afraid to come forward because they will not be believed anyway. And somehow this is the problem that feminism keeps pushing. We're not interested in combating sexual violence and rape. We're interested in playing the fucking victim. And real victims? Well, I mean, we do them lip service, obviously, but we don't give a fuck. Again, I can point to the #120 decibel movement. No, the stupidity of yourself is that you complain about how people should believe you, and then, well, why bother believing them if they are telling a lie? It's not a problem because, well, it's a problem for a few men. Nobel Prize winner Tim Hunt lost his job because a journalist lied about a joke he made. Do you seriously not see how lying is the major problem? A lot of victims of sexual assault don't come forward because they feel they will not be believed. Why? Because so many high-profile cases in the last, let's say, decade have proven to be false. Time and time again. Don't you see that this is actually hurting the real victims? It's not helping them. MeToo does nothing to help people. MeToo does nothing to help victims. It's only to push the fucking feminist... I'm getting pissed again. Can you start being stupid again so that at least it would be funny? Because unfortunately, on this case, you're right for the wrong reasons. Yes, these are issues we need to talk about. But we need to talk about them honestly, and we need to weed out the liars. And #MeToo is full of fucking liars. Say something stupid again. I want to laugh.
Oh, and then there's this one, right? Oh, you can't even flirt anymore. If the way you flirt is indistinguishable from sexual harassment, don't flirt. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. Like, most people I know are perfectly capable of distinguishing friendly flirting from bothering someone. And if you're not, flirting's optional. Just stop. Just don't do it. Thanks.
Well, at least you're saying something really, really, really stupid. No, it's not easy to define the difference between flirting and sexual harassment when women already at times have proven to point out that saying hello to them can be considered sexual harassment. I mean, making a joke about your name can be considered sexual harassment by women. Well, you did say something stupid, I'll grant you that. But I still can't laugh. You daft cow, you broke the funny. But then again, I guess you did that as soon as you started calling yourself a feminist comedian. Okay, at least I can laugh at myself.
You take my picture.
Yeah.
You want my name?
Yeah, sure.
It's Humongous.
Yeah, I think I know this guy. I think he's good friends with what's his name? Oliver. Oliver Closeoff. Yeah, that's the one.
A little pre-dinner entertainment.
Most haven't.
Is Oliver there?
Who?
Oliver, close off.
Hold on, I'll check. Oliver, close off. Call for Oliver, close off.
Okay. Humongous what? Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
And I think the two of them have this mutual friend. What's her name again? I think it was Miss Tinkle. Yeah, Miss Tinkle. Ivana Tinkle. Yeah, that's the one.
Hello, I'd like to speak to Ms. Tinkle. First name... Ivana?
Ivana Tinkle. Just a sec. Ivana Tinkle. Ivana Tinkle. All right, everybody, put down your glasses. Ivana Tinkle. Har, har, har.
That's what it is.
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment?
No, it's humongous.
Then why did you say that to
That's
me?
my name.
What? Humongous what?
Humongous what?
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment? Is that what you just did when you said that to me?
See? Using humour is sexual harassment. Making a joke about your name. Sexual harassment. And I'm sure Modwain won't mind me using one of his old clips, but you're full of it, aren't you?
Oh, and then this is talking about the comedy industry. I saw this on social media. Somebody had said, oh, if we stop booking every guy who's done something like that, we'll have no acts left. Isn't that pretty telling? I mean, I agree. The scale of the problem in the British comedy circuit is pretty deep. It's pretty major. Yeah. If we actually dealt with it, and we should, there'd be some gaps. There'd be some clubs with some pretty significant gaps. And here's what we could do. We could fill those gaps with acts that aren't doing that shit. I know. Amazing. Brilliant. Genius. Who thought of it? Call me. Call me. I would like to play your club.
Yeah, because sexual violence is so very, 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 very predominant in everything. That, women, it's a miracle they can get out of the house without getting raped. It's a bloody miracle, that is. It's also a bloody fucking lie, but hey, who cares about that? But here we see something nice, because if we could get these people out of the clubs, well, there will be gaps in the clubs, but hey, don't worry about that. You can call me. Now, that just about describes the whole Me Too movement. Me. Me. Well, you're a victim. Well, I'm a victim too. Oh, look at us. We're victims. Aren't we grand? Oh, let's see who we can get to pay for us. Or let's see who we can get fired. The worst part is there are real fucking victims out there. But no one is taking these real victims serious because of you fucking muddling up. You're muddying the water so much. Say something stupid again. I need to laugh.
So I got back to the organisers of this debate and I said, look, I'm not comfortable. I'd love to do this debate. I would love to be a defender of the Me Too movement, but I'm not comfortable with the motion. I think that there's an issue about the idea of saying, or, has it gone too far? As if you could ever go too far with telling the truth. So I explained this to them. And so what they've done is they've rescinded my invitation and taken £400 worth of work off the table for me. And if you're wondering why some women still don't speak out, thank you. Hopefully you understand now. Cheers. Thanks for listening.
Boo hoo hoo hoo. You lost a gig worth $400. Pound? Well, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Because you're lying and they recognise you're lying. And you're still trying to pretend that you're not. You're still trying to pretend that the hashtag MeToo movement is not full of liars. And they recognise it. So they can't have you. Because people like you are the problem. They're not the solution. Yes, we want to combat sexual harassment. Yes, we want to combat sexual violence. We can't do that when so many people are lying about it. And here you are playing the victim because someone wasn't willing to pay you money to continue your narrative. Because they probably recognize that there's some real issues here. But you're not interested in the real issues. You're interested in your 400 pop. You incredible, dishonest cow, you. But that's okay. That's okay. Someone will probably spot you some cash soon because, you've got your female privilege. And you might not agree with that, but, the thing is, it's bloody well real, unfortunately. And the rest of the world will have to suffer because of what what feminists think is justified. The worst part is most women don't fall for this tripe. That's why most feminists don't like most women. Ask the pit women of the Formula One races who lost their jobs because of feminists. Hey, never mind that. I mean, they chose to do the job. No, not good enough. No. Hillary Clinton complains about how people voted for Trump, but women only did that because they were forced to do so by their husbands and fathers. Because obviously women don't have a choice. They can't make decisions. Honestly. Well, unless of course they're feminists, because a feminist always knows best. Anyway, I think this is where my rant lands. She won't get funny anymore, and I kind of had enough of her anyway. I hope you enjoyed this little take. Let Modwain know that he's a lazy arse. And like, share, subscribe. Share, like, share, subscribe. I don't know what to do, but I need to plug this, don't I? I hope to see you all next time. Oh, Modwain always says criticism is welcome. Not that I care, but it's welcome apparently. Bye all.